got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
So welcome back to Astrological Intentions. We have a special episode for you. We bring on these wonderful people who we want to interview astrologically, and we call it astrological interviews. So today we have our special guest, Marcela Ley. She is a mother, wife, yoga teacher, and business owner of the Casa Retreat Center and Boutique Hotel in La Paz, Mexico. Marcela, I want to give you a warm welcome on the show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, we're excited because we were there last year for our retreat in January, and we immediately booked again for our next one, which is January 5th through the 12th.
I can wait to see you back.
Yes, it is going to be great.
Yeah, we're excited.
And so I wanted to give everybody a little bit of a history of your story. So you were first introduced to yoga after when you were doing your graduate studies in primatology in London. That's awesome. Yes. That's wonderful. And you're originally from Mexico, and were you traveling? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm from Mexico. And I always wanted to study primates. So when I graduated from college, I actually went to the States for college. So when I graduated from college, I decided to go to Africa, So I spent there a few months with the chimpanzees. And then I thought, okay, I need to continue studying the primates. So I went to London, for my, it was my master's. Okay. So when I was finishing my master's, I realized that was not what I wanted to do in my life, So it was actually a really hard time for me. I'm a very focused and determined person. So I always knew what I wanted, and I felt like lost, So I accidentally found out about yoga, and I was doing yoga while I was writing my thesis. So it was kind of like my way to, feeling good.
And help balance a little bit of that stress and pressure of writing an entire thesis.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And that's when I realized that I like the field work, being in the wild with the primates and being in nature, but just being in an enclosed space for so many hours and reading and writing. And then they told me if I wanted to continue to be a professor, I needed to write papers every month and publish, And I thought, oh my God, I don't think this is what I want for my life,
Yeah.
And that's how I was actually introduced in the yoga path.
Right. And so, and then this beautiful retreat center that you have been working to really build from the ground up, even deeper from the ground up, because when we were there last year, we realized just how much the Casa Retreat Center does live in harmony with the environment, because you have, you've created all of the structures with like really sustainable building materials, straw bales as the insulation, renewable solar energy power, and you also have that water purification, basically like parking lot. You created that parking lot on top of and tell me a little bit about that process for the Casa Retreat Center being so eco-friendly.
Yeah. So when I thought about doing something that actually mattered, so when I left the primate studies, I went into more like a human studies, and like just like a human search, like an inner search, and that's when I thought, well, if I want to do something, for people to come and increase their consciousness, it just has to be right, and it just didn't seem right to build something, just, the way people usually do it, not thinking about the environment, my goals in life has always been about the environment and the animal creatures and endangered species, so I had to be honest and true to myself. So I thought about creating a space where it can be eco-friendly, and it just goes with the whole philosophy of my life, So I couldn't just do it differently. And I searched a lot for somebody that could help me, because it's not easy here to find somebody that knows what, I was talking about, So and then I found this girls architects that they were actually yogis as well. So they got my philosophy and they understood immediately what I was talking about. And they are good with sacred geometry. And then I had like a feng shui specialist, with us as well. So we all work together to create this special place.
And it really is. It's so special.
Well, as you're talking, Marcela, of course, I've got your chart right here as your astrologer, and that's actually how we met. But as I look at your natal chart and noticing that your natal moon is conjunct the planet Neptune, that really the information here is about emotional inspiration. That whatever it is that you have this dream about, like helping on a grander scale, this basically says women, moon. It describes the nurturing qualities, the style you have, and men too, but mostly women. And with your rising sign of Libra, this makes that you're in balance and in fairness to everyone.
Which is so interesting too, because, Marcela, when I was, just briefly looking over your website again today, you say that Tara means the one who enables living beings to cross the oceans of existence and suffering. It is her compassion for earthly beings and her desire to save them from the suffering that makes her protective, like a mother to her children. That is just so wonderful.
Goosebumps, because it really is. And it's in your third house that says, this is how I communicate. And the ruler of your rising sign, which, as I said, your rising sign is Libra. That means Venus is the ruler of your chart, is trine your ascendant. The fact that you can do many things, right? Your Venus is in Gemini, that says, your love of many things, and your desire, your moon in Sagittarius, that says, I want to keep moving. I want to keep going. I want to keep expanding. I want to learn, like my ability to fill my brain and having experiences and adventures and kind of the wanderlust of going out to figure out how things work in the world, and then bringing it back.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It really totally makes sense. In fact, I just, of course, as I'm looking at your chart, man, you just finished a really kind of more or less a test of strength time in your life for about 1 year that finished about a year ago. And it might have been that, almost done Casa Tara, where, I know that in talking to you about the trials and tribulations of building such a eco-friendly, environment on the water, your property is right on the water.
Right on the water.
Yeah. I mean, we would walk every morning down the beautiful staircase to go sup boarding. I even did it in the mornings. but you're right there on the water. So I can imagine that. But I can see in your chart that you're finished with this like test of energy. You know, how much energy do you really have? You just finished this time period. So it's more of a relaxed time for you.
And it feels like that, Sandy. It really does. Like, I was thinking about, you know, it's going to be almost 2 years in January, how much work, you know, we have put into it. And I do feel right now, I'm kind of like, you know, taking my yoga back, you know, like taking time for that, for myself again, because I felt like I didn't have that time.
Right.
You know, for a long time, the baby, Casa, and, you know, just all the work that we have put into it. But yeah, I mean, it's so incredible how it's actually written in my chart.
Yeah.
You know?
And one extra thing that I'm excited for you is, you know, as we're talking today, that this transiting Jupiter is hitting your Uranus. So there really is this increased desire for freedom. That, you know, where you find it, you know, you find it hard to live up to some responsibilities. And I mean, you know, there's going to be many opportunities coming in for you to find your individual time by yourself because there's a need for that now. And I know one of your questions was, you know, how, who, when, you know, will someone come in that can give you more of this freedom? So take off some of the responsibilities.
Like a managerial position.
Yeah, right? Because it's really hard right now to try and live up to, you know, what you said you could do because Jupiter here next to Uranus just says you need to take care of yourself. You know, you need to kind of step away from that routine that what you're expected to do every day at 8 o'clock in the morning is now to step away and do something different at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know?
So will you confirm with me, Sandy, that now it's time for me to kind of lay back?
Well, I'm not concerned.
I give you permission?
I give you permission. Yes, you're allowed to really, you know, kind of find new ways, find new routines that bring in some new excitement into your life. You know, and I did see, like, you've been traveling, you and the family. I just saw that you were on a ski trip.
And we haven't been out for...
So it's...
And I guess it would be hard, you know, getting a vacation from such a beautiful retreat center. And that's maybe my perspective. But really, I mean... And even all of the wonderful food that you guys prepare there.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I still dream about that, Marcela. I miss you guys so much. And, you know, my mouth waters every single time I think about the Casa Moringa, you know, restaurant.
Please tell me you have the same chef.
Yes, we still have Jose. And we have actually a new guy in the kitchen that is with Jose, same chef, and he's also very good. So I don't only feel that I'm kind of like ready to take time for myself, but I feel the team is getting together. Like I'm getting really good people in the Casa team, you know, like we're getting stronger and it just feels that when you're here. And I mean, the food, I mean, that was really important for me. I always thought sometimes, you know, people were telling me like, are you going to open a restaurant? Like, that's really hard, you know, that's like a totally different business and it's like a business on its own. And I didn't know how hard it was going to be to actually have a restaurant, but the restaurant is kind of like the heart of the place.
Right, that's true.
Because, I mean, when people come, they enjoy their food, and I know it's good quality, and I know we have the control of it, you know, and I just thought, if I want to live here, I want to be able to actually eat at the Casa restaurant every day and feel healthy.
Right.
Because Right. Sometimes, I mean, when I go travel, I eat at restaurants every day and I gain like 10 pounds, like 2 kilos. I don't know how much is that in pounds, but I gain like 2 kilos every time I travel. And when I stay at Casa, I lose weight. You know
what?
We did too.
You're not the only one. Everyone on the retreat last year, without trying.
Right, and we overate. I feel like every single night we're like, oh my gosh, I have to eat all of this. This is so delicious.
Everyone lost. I lost 5 pounds. Not trying, but there really was no reason to snack. First of all, there's no snacks unless you brought them, in your suitcase. But the food, we had 2 breakfasts. Lunch was 3-course lunch that included dessert. And then dinner, and it's all, I heard one of the ladies from last year that attended was explaining to another lady that is coming this year or next year in January, saying the food just shows up. You don't have to go through a buffet line. It's served to you. You don't have to pick through a menu. And you will be guaranteed your food. I mean, one of the ladies on our retreat was a foodie. And she travels around the world with major chefs around the world, and we call her really that she's she's the food queen, food queen. And she was taking pictures of every single dish that was put in front of her and oohing and awing. And actually, she's the one that got all of the recipes from Jose.
Lucky.
Still probably different when she cooks it. But, we're really excited to bring another group down and continuing to do this year after year. I find it's just this beautiful gem in the middle of between the sand and the water.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I remember you were featured in the American Express travel magazine.
Good point.
Yes.
That is so incredible. And because you are
we
such...
actually didn't even know that happened. I mean, somebody just sent me an email asking me permission, and I didn't really know when or how was that going to be. And then people started sending me pictures of us being in that magazine. I was like, oh, cool.
Wonderful.
Well, good job.
Yes,
you deserve it.
You definitely deserve that accolade.
So,
really, anyone that needs to do any type of sacred space journey with a group of people, a retreat, please use
yoga teacher
this.
training.
Oh my gosh, this Casa, it's, you fly into Cabo, San Lucas, and then with our drivers, it's about a maybe 2 hour and 15-minute drive directly north. So you really feel like you're leaving, like the party area and then going into private area. And we swam with the whale sharks last year, and some of the girls that didn't do it last year because they were too scaredy cat are now already on board and signed up for the swimming with the whale sharks. But I'm looking at your chart right now, don't you know? And your 10th house cusp, which is the area in which your profession, your career, or really your reputation, how you are seen by the public. And that placement is Cancer. And so that Cancerian action, the energy there is about nurturing. You really do care for everyone. Through hugs or those yummy beds, white sheets with the mosquito nets that are so clean and beautiful, and you really create a home style welcoming area. And this Cancer on the 10th house is exactly that. You really want to nurture and nourish the people that come to you.
Yeah, that's actually our goal, Sandy. I mean, for us, it was always meant to be a place where, you can just feel the love around you, So, yeah, I mean, Yeah, our theme is always to serve you, you know.
Yeah, you're doing it.
It's actually like a new theme for my team, for the people that work here.
Yeah.
And I always tell them this is the theme for Casa. I am love, you are love, and we give love.
Ooh.
You know?
It's true. It's how we all felt. We all felt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone in your staff is so friendly.
Anna,
I knew everyone. Yeah. Shout out to Anna.
Yeah. She's gonna love you to have you back. I mean,
yeah, we're
she
excited.
keeps telling me about it.
We're going to shave her whole head this time if she needs it.
Oh
if
yeah.
she needs
You
it.
will
That
never
wasn't-
forget that retreat.
That was a beautiful time.
That was really something for her.
And actually,
Thank you so much for that.
This retreat, we're titling it "The Light of the Moon." Do you believe that the very first day that we arrive for the retreat, which is January 5th, is the day of it's a new moon, but it's also a solar eclipse?
Oh, really?
In Capricorn. And that's why we're titled it The Light of the Moon, because the moon in a solar eclipse, the moon eclipses the sun. And so we won't see it. I've already done the charting for the opening. We're not going to see the eclipse. It'll already be underneath the horizon. However, we'll know that it's going on. And then that whole week while we're there, the moon will be setting as a crescent moon. So it'll be really gorgeous the evening time, sitting around the pool or sitting
around the fireplace,
the fire pit,
Yeah.
or down by the water. So I'm really excited that, this time is about that. And actually, the other thing that's really cool about this retreat, absolutely no planets in retrograde, which is kind of rare. So it's a forward moving time. There really, is like no introspection. I mean, Uranus is stationing when we begin, and by the next day, Uranus is moving direct, but that's kind of rare. So we're excited to have, our group back down with you in your amazing. In fact, Alex and I are coming early, 2 days early, to prepare.
Yeah, for sure. So isn't it, Sandy, when there's a new moon, it's like a new beginning?
It's a new beginning.
Time for like new beginning for anything you want to start.
Right, exactly. About any intention that you're setting, right, that you want to, and we got the brand new year, it's January 5th.
Yeah, right after the New Year's,
Right, and this new moon is in Capricorn. So it really is about success, driven, ambition. It's about what work, like what do you want to set as a serious intention for the year?
And an endeavor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a solar eclipse. Like, it's a big deal. We're in eclipse season. So we're really excited for the group that's coming down. And of course, we've got some highlights that we're keeping. Not even you. I'm going to ask you one thing. Can we use your oven? And we're not really. Last year we carried our own oven in, and now we've got something bigger that can't fit in our small oven. It's part of our creative project that we always do. Remember ours last year?
Oh yeah,
the masks. Yeah, we did the Ascendant. But this time we're calling it the Light of the Moon because of the solar eclipse, and we're using the light of the moon. So
we can use my oven.
Yes, perfect.
No
Stay tuned, folks. We need a big oven for your project.
Okay, I'm very intrigued right now.
It's going to be wonderful.
Oh
I'm so excited.
I mean, what I saw, Sandy, from your retreat, it was actually a real transformation. I saw each lady that came to the retreat transform. And that was amazing to see. I mean, there are many different types of retreat, but yours, it's really special. Like, I can feel like something changing in each person that goes through it, you know?
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
In fact, 4 of the people we have signed up, 4 of them had joined us last year. They're returning because of you, because of Casa Tara, and maybe because of Alex and I. But yeah, they didn't get enough.
Right. And I mean, right after the retreat, we were on the way back to the airport, and, you know, it's a sad time to leave Casa Tara. But everyone was just like, do you have your dates for next year yet? Do you have the dates yet? So it's been a crazy amount of anticipation, and I'm so excited we're here and we're unveiling, you know, this wonderful retreat offering and sharing it with more people, especially now that we've been there and we know you so well, and that experience was one that was so transformational that we want to share it with everybody.
Right. And we have our early bird special still available until November 5th.
Right.
Okay.
So, and we need to get that onto your website. How about that? I was just going over your website. We can give you the information tomorrow, and maybe you can add that.
Oh, please do, because there are people asking me for it.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. No, that will be great for sure.
Because you know, it's a lot of pre-work. There's a lot of astrology charting that I do for about a month and a half in advance, where we you know, have particular ceremonies around astrological happenings of that week, which is why we picked that week. And so some of those are, you know, again, secret
surprises, because they're going to be unveiled.
Yeah.
Also, Marcela, do you have any questions for Sandy while she is looking at your chart? Is there anything that you wanted to either share about what she's already talked about, or, you know, propose any questions?
No, I actually feel like very good, like in a very different place than last year, than the first time we met. I mean, I remember, you know, what was going on in my head. I actually feel good, and I love hearing what, you know, that it just makes sense what you saw in my chart and what actually feels, you know, inside of me.
Well, I remember when we first met you, it was at the Wanderlust in Squaw Valley.
Yes.
2017. It was a little over a year ago. And you and your husband came to my moon phase.
Shout out to Miguel. Shout out. Hi, Miguel. And Mateus.
And Mateus. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful baby.
Yes.
And, young man.
Yes.
But you came to my moon class where we made a bead, and then you came for a reading at my booth. And when you said, you know, that I own that, I just built this retreat center, and take a look at it, Sandy. And I did. And I'm like, we're coming. When in January can we make it? So that was just a great connection that was from the stars. That will be this ongoing connection for us. You know, you did ask me a question earlier when we were kind of prepping for this, and about, you know, finding like who would be a good, like manager, you know, someone that could kind of give you more freedom time. And really this person has to be like an Aries, I say this because the 7th house cusp is Aries. These would be your one-on-one kind of intimate relationships or business partners that would just kind of like be partnering with you as a manager. So someone that can initiate projects, that can solve problems themselves, that understands your vision, your mission, and takes whether it's they do something incorrectly the first time or not. The idea is
they're quick to act.
They're quick to act. They take action. They're not waiting around and wait until they get a hold of you and finding it. They're not in turmoil or doubt. They're that these people make a quick decision and go with it because they have the power and the know-how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then your advice would be to find an Aries?
Well, it could be an Aries, but it just can be the archetype of the Aries energy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And you know,
I'm an Aries.
Because what?
I'm an Aries.
I know you are. You got your 17-degree Aries, so the sun is there, and so that that would.
It has to be with kind of like similar energy than me, or
well, yeah, because as if you want to kind of like hand the baton to someone so that they can, you're going to want them to have just as much energy as you will. Otherwise, you're not going to want to delegate.
Yeah,
it'll be like, oh, I'll just do it myself. Because of your Aries energy, where it's like you can delegate as long as there's an equal set of energies there, or action, or someone that has that entrepreneurial spirit like you have, but they don't need, everything's already built, right? There's no financial commitment for them. It's already there. They get to go kind of live their dream through your means. But, you're the boss. You're boss. Yeah. Always know that you're boss. So that's my little take on that.
Oh, thank you. I think that's a lot of help. Mm-hmm.
Or, call me with their birth information. I do that also. I helped another client of mine find in about 6 different possibilities. We weeded out the one that was going to work the best, and it's a beautiful fit. I talk to her once a month, and she tells me the update on this beautiful employer fit. So throw me some birth information. I'll look.
I think we can work together with this. So.
Yeah, because it's important. This is your dream. I mean, this is like your family's legacy, in more ways than just you and your husband and your son. This is a bigger family legacy. So
for sure, yeah. It's my baby.
It's your baby.
And it's a beautiful baby indeed.
Baby,
yeah. We're excited.
I mean, waking up, I remember every morning, and some days we would wake up even before the sun was rising. But that sunrise right over the La Ventana, is it the La Ventana Bay?
No, it's the Sea of Cortez.
The Sea of Cortez,
Absolutely stunning. I mean, I tried over and over and over again, all of the days that we were there, to set up my tripod and have this, beautiful sunrise being recorded, and so I could show everyone when I got home. But it doesn't do it any justice. It really doesn't, because it feels so close to you. That sunrise is right there, and the beautiful balconies that you have outside of the, the gorgeous white rooms that are just like so clean and at the same time so cozy. Just it was wonderful. I just sat in that little hammock, and
the workshop space was beautiful for us. We had the privacy of being up there and running ceremony, the spa downstairs, that. The massages. Alex and I had some toenails and fingernails done.
Oh, yeah.
That space. And then we had our final little get together, our party upstairs in the outdoor yoga, palapa. So just what you've built is so private and clean and raw and natural and real. And we didn't really need to leave the property. At all. We went shopping one day. We went down to the Mexican market, right?
And
that's on the list this year. That's on the list again. All the girls like
there.
that. Yeah. So any other final things, Alex, that we need to we still have some slots to fill with our retreat. So
yes.
I'm doing these 15-minute complimentary readings for anyone that is interested.
And if you want to see if you're a good fit for the retreat, so Sandy can go through the major aspects that we're going to be talking about and give you a little bit of a flavor, a little bit of a taste test of what the retreat would be like.
Yeah. So you would go to our website.
Right. So you can go to our website, intentionbeads.com/events, and you can scroll down to the calendar and look for the January calendar, and you'll see all of the dates listed out for our Casa Tara retreat. Also, on our front page of the website, intentionbeads.com, you'll also see links there. I also welcome everybody to check out the Casa Tara website. I'm going to link that in the description of this podcast, but also check out all of the amazing teachers, retreats that they offer to the public, including ours, because we're very unique when we bring our astrology retreat to town. We ran into a few people at your Moringa restaurant who were,
that we knew.
Yeah, so interested.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so
Amazing,
everything has been really so synchronistic, and we always ask for any of our retreats for the perfect attendees. And that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to be perfect. We're not looking for perfect people. What we're really looking for is
the perfect group. That arranges, that comes together for a transformational
outcome.
Yeah.
And really that's been our success for all of our retreats. And, Marcela, I thank you so much for coming on our radio show and sharing more about the Casa Tara Retreat Center and Boutique Hotel. I can't speak highly enough about your work and all of the effort you have put towards the Casa Tara.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that and giving us a beautiful place to visit.
Oh, no, thank you, ladies, for trusting us, because if we didn't have your trust, you wouldn't be coming to us, And for us, it's always a pleasure to have you and at our home.
Okay, well, we'll be down there with our group January 5th through the 12th that's 7 days.
Yes. So check out our website. Also ask me any questions. I will put all of the links in the description for all of our podcast listeners. And I'm going to say, Marcela, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the radio show. And we're going to say adios. Hasta luego.
Bye con Dios.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.